If everybody could please rise for the posting of the colors. Former Congressman Mike McNulty will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ed Nessler is going to lead us in the prayer. Please remain standing.
Almighty God, you who are the source of our life, strength, and purpose, in your presence alone find health, hope, and life. Guide us during this hour of fellowship, reflections be grounded with the healing reminder of your love to all those whose lives we touch this day. For it is your glory we gather and offer our prayers. Amen.
Everybody could be seated. Good morning. I'm Chris Albert. I am the director of the Rensselaer County Veterans Service Agency. We've gathered here this morning to honor deceased Rensselaer County veteran Darrell F. Dara. And I just, last night, not as good as Steve McLaughlin. Steve's not going to be able to be here today, so I'm going to fill in for Steve. I just wrote a few things down last night that I wanted to share with you guys. I'd like to start by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the family for allowing us the privilege of honoring your service member. Our nation's freedoms and opportunities are a direct result of the sacrifices made by our service members, and we owe them an immense debt of gratitude. In times of difficulty, we often turn to family for strength. And for our service members, this includes two families: the one that they were born into and the one they serve alongside. The service members that I admire would give their lives to protect both. Honoring our fallen heroes is the most meaningful way we can keep their memories alive in our hearts and our souls. It is our duty to ensure that our way of life continues to thrive for the future generations so that our children may live in peace and prosperity. We are truly fortunate, and without the selfless service of these brave men and women, we would not enjoy the blessings that we have today. Once again, thank you for allowing us the honor of remembering your loved one and for the sacrifice you made in support of their service to this great country. Thank you. So this morning we have with us his wife, Mildred, is here. His daughter and his son-in-law, Nancy and Rick Williams. We have the other daughter and son-in-law, Ellen and John Donnelly. Grandson and granddaughter-in-law, Matthew and Bridget Williams. Granddaughter, Kayla Taylor. Grandson and granddaughter-in-law, Christopher Williams. Great-granddaughters, Caden Taylor and Brielle Griffin. And family friend, Michelle and Frank Jenkins, and Dave Williams. Thank you guys all for coming. So we have Paul Tonko with us this morning. Thank you for being here, Paul. Former Congressman Mike McNulty is always here, and actually Mike was the one that started this whole thing. As always, Mike, thank you for always being here. We have New York State Senator Jake Ashby, who's also always here. We have Assemblyman Scott Bendet, who's always here. Scott just got a Purple Heart bill passed, and thank you for that very much, Scott. There you go. We have Colonel Schultz here from the Watervliet Arsenal, accompanied by a captain who's going to present a certificate on behalf of the Watervliet Arsenal. We also have a lot of our legislators. We have Dan Casals here, Mark Fleming is here, Gary Galuski is here, Tom Grant, Kelly Hoffman, and Bob Loveridge. If I missed anybody, I apologize. So this Honor Deceased Veteran Committee was created to help us honor our veterans all year round. To us here in Rensselaer County, every day is Veterans Day. The Rensselaer County Honor Deceased Veteran Program represents veterans organizations throughout the entire country, and we have members here today representing those organizations. Those are the American Legion, the Disabled American Veterans, Veterans of Lansingburg, Military Order of the Purple Heart, the Marine Corps League, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Korean War Veterans, Tri-County Council of Veteran-Era Vietnam Veterans, Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, Vietnam Veterans of America, AMVETS, the Crab Garrison Post, 1954, and the Rensselaer County Veterans Service Agency. I will now ask Kelly Hoffman, the Rensselaer County Legislative Chairwoman, to come forward and to tell us about our honored veteran for the month, Dale Dara. Thank you, Kelly.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kelly Hoffman, Chair of the Legislature, and as always, it's a pleasure to have everyone here today. I would like to recognize members of the Deceased Honor a Vet ceremony. The committee, if you could please rise. Thank you so much for all the work that you do each month to help bring this program to fruition. You always do a great job. Thank you. So the clocks move forward over the weekend. Kind of nice day out there today, and a great day for us to be able to celebrate the life of Dale Dara, a devoted husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and a proud United States Marine. Dale was born on April 28, 1938 in Plattsburgh, one of 3 children to Gilbert and Mabel Dara. He grew up in Katyville, where he attended the Saranac Central School District and graduated from Saranac High School. As a young boy, Dale was active in the Katyville Cub Scout Pack 44. Now, I don't know if the family knows this, but we did some research. On May 4th, 1953, the Plattsburgh Press-Republican newspaper featured a story titled, "Katyville Cubs Offered Mythical Trip to Hawaii," which mentioned Cub Chief Dale's presentation about life in Hawaii. I don't know if you knew this, but we actually have a copy of the article we can share with you. At the age of 18, Dale answered the call to serve his country, enlisting in the United States Marine Corps on January 16, 1957 in Albany. After completing his training at Parris Island, he served as a military photographer, a role that required not only technical skills, but also courage, adaptability, and resilience. His work documented military operations, training exercises, and significant events, preserving moments of history while upholding the highest standards of integrity and discipline. For his honorable service, he was awarded the United States Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal before his discharge as Lance Corporal on January 15, 1960. Following his service, Dale returned to civilian life and married the love of his life, Mildred, on May 18, 1963, at the Church of the Assumption in Redford, New York. Together, they built a loving family, raising 2 daughters, Ellen and Nancy. Dale dedicated over 38 years of hard work with New York Telephone, Bell Atlantic, and Verizon before retiring in 1998. In his free time, he found joy in hunting, fishing, and above all, spending cherished time with his family, especially his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. His commitment to service extended beyond his military career, as he remained an active member of his community. He was a member of the Sherwood Park Fire Company, the Rangers Retreat Adirondack Hunting Club, the Rensselaer Elks Lodge, the CA 118 Union, and a social member of the East Greenbush Fire Department. Sadly, on January 22nd of this year, Dale passed away, leaving behind a legacy of love, service, and dedication to this community. He is survived by his beloved wife of 61 years, Mildred, his daughters, Ellen and Nancy, his sons-in-law, John and Richard, his grandchildren, Matthew, Kayla, Christopher, Andrew, and Casey, his great-grandchildren, Brielle and Caden, and his brother, Bruce. Dale was predeceased by his parents, his sister Nancy, and his brothers-in-law, Don and Gary. Dale now rests at the Gerald B.H. Solomon Saratoga National Cemetery in Schuylerville among his fellow heroes. Today we remember and honor Dale F. Dara, not just for his service to our nation, but for the love he shared, the example that he set, and the lives that he touched. His memory will live on in the hearts of all of those who knew him. Semper Fi, Lance Corporal Dara. We look forward to adding his name to our Hall of Heroes this year, where he will always be remembered. Thank you to his wife, Millie, and to his many family and friends that are here with us today, and for allowing us to remember him in this special way. Thank you for being here with us. I'd like to invite Legislator Grant to come up and say a couple of words.
Thank you very much. Another great history of service, and it carried on from Dale throughout his family, history of service in the town of East Greenbush in particular. As an aside, I should mention that Cadyville and Redford are suburbs of Plattsburgh. So just so you know, you can orient yourselves from there. Plattsburgh's the big city in Clinton County. So it's a great honor, as Kelly mentioned, to have been mentioned in the Plattsburgh Press Republican. That's something that doesn't happen on a regular basis for people. So please take advantage of taking a look at the paper that we have here. It's quite a story. Again, thank you all for being here and allowing us to honor Dale and recognize his lifetime of service to the community. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Dan?
Good.
So real quick, I'm sorry I missed, we have the Honorable Deb Young in the back here. I miss you, I'm sorry. And I'm going to present this. Steve couldn't make it. He loves to be here. He sends his apologies. I'm just going to present this on Steve McLaughlin, the county executive's behalf. This is a proclamation from Steve.
am.
Now I'm going to ask Congressman Paul Tonko, representing Colleen Williams. Come up. Thank you, sir.
Well, good morning, everyone. Always a cherished opportunity to say thank you to those who have served in uniform for this nation, for her people, and the opportunities and freedoms that they preserved and protected and promoted to freedom-loving people around the world. And today we honor such an individual of extraordinary personhood who, as a member of the Marine Corps, was a great contributor to the great American history of our military. So we honor Dale F. Dara, and to the Dara family, I say thank you for allowing us to recognize his accomplishments and to address his great contribution here posthumously. And so thank you to all of the veterans organizations that have assembled. Thank you to Mike McNulty, my predecessor. Mike, thank you for having planted the seed for this great opportunity to recognize men and women who have served this nation from Rensselaer County. It's a great legacy that you started. I think it's 30 years in the offering, and so it's a great tradition to continue to maintain. And to my fellow elected officers and Kelly and the legislature, thank you for the kind invitation to join with you. So Mildred, it's great to honor your late husband. Ellen and Nancy, thank you also for allowing us to say thanks. It is tremendous to recognize the contributions of those who served in uniform. And looking at the assignment as a photographer, I have to believe that there were some very, very difficult environments in which he worked. But to have captured in film all of the activities with the military, the operations, the training, the community events, provides for a golden history of photojournalism that enables people to appreciate more greatly the contributions that members of the military made to this great nation, and to also acknowledge that their service didn't end with the efforts through the military. For him to come home and be of service to people through telecommunication for 38 years to enable us to connect with one another, a freedom of speech, a freedom of communication for which he fought. And so he worked deliberately and very diligently for 38 years, and we recognize that also. And knowing that he was a brother elk is great to recognize. It's noteworthy. And to indicate his contributions through a couple of volunteer fire companies. So I know the commitment that people at the local fire department make to our safety. So his legacy here is one of service to nation in uniform, but then service in nation in so many aspects as he worked within his community to make a difference. And so to all who have assembled here as a family banner of Dale F. Dara, know that I ask that a flag be flown over our nation's capital in memorializing him, in tribute to him and honoring him for his great service. And I have a certificate for when that was flown, and Mildred, I'll present that to you now, but my hope, my prayer is that he rests in eternal peace with his, within the loving arms of his Creator. So God bless him, and thank you for allowing us to say our thanks most humbly here this morning.
I'll now ask New York State Senator Jake Ashby to please come forward.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
It's great to be with you. I want to thank my colleagues in state and local and federal government for joining us here today. I want to thank Colonel Schultz for being here, and of course, to the family for allowing us to celebrate Lance Corporal Dara's contributions and service and his life and legacy. And in looking at his biography, you could tell service was very important to him. Before he was 20 years old, he joined the United States Marine Corps and served in a capacity where it allows guys like us to remember our service, right? From a sentimental side, you look back on those times in service when not everybody had a camera on their phone and able to take photographs, and you can look back and really admire the work that these photographers did. And then also looking at their contributions in planning the missions that happened. We didn't always have drones in the sky capable of taking these photographs to execute and plan these missions. It was done by hand, by somebody. And to achieve the rank of Lance Corporal in just 3 years is pretty remarkable. That's not a rank it's actually not a rank that you hear about that much anymore. Usually people will make that transition from E4 to E5 right there, but to get to that point in his career in just 3 short years is pretty amazing. And then, of course, looking at 38 years of service afterwards, 60-plus years of marriage after serving is just a remarkable example of commitment. And I'm sure that those traditions that he started and exemplified during his service and throughout his life in your family are carried out today and remembered fondly. On behalf of the New York State Senate, I do have a proclamation here for you. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Next, I'll ask New York State Assemblyman Scott Bendet to please come up.
I always love when Senator Ashby comes up and talks about people's service in a way that sometimes many of us who weren't in the service, don't really always understand. And when I thought, when I first read Dale's biography, I was just taken aback by the fact that he was a photographer. I thought that was really a neat job. When people go into the military, I'm sure, not many people are volunteering for some of the jobs, but that job seemed really interesting to me to have that ability. But when Senator Ashby spoke about like the ability to do recon missions, is that what reconnaissance missions type of things, and take pictures and check it out, I thought that was just really amazing. I never even thought of that. But when I read through Dale's bio, all I could think of was just like a tremendous life well lived. What a story. Just something that I think that we would all like to experience in our lives, the ability to see our great-grandchildren, to be married to our wife. I actually had a grandma, Millie, and loved her very much. But, all of his, successes are really based upon his service and his family, and I think that's wonderful. Ordinarily, John McDonald is here with me, but he couldn't be here today. And ordinarily, we would have a certificate or citation. Well, we do. We do have that. So on behalf of the New York State Assembly, myself and my colleague John McDonald III, we'd like to present you with a citation from the New York State Assembly.
I'd like to ask Colonel Schultz from the Watervliet Arsenal to come forward. He's got Captain Bryce Potok, hopefully I made that pronunciation correctly, and his assistant here with him. Thank you, Colonel.
So good morning, everyone. Congressman Tonko, former Congressman McNulty, Senator Ashby, distinguished leaders, representatives, and especially the family of Dale Dara. Hey, it's always an honor and a privilege to get to come and represent the professionals of Watervliet Arsenal, our men and women who work and build cannons and mortar systems for our government every day as we honor service of our veterans. Now, looking over at Mr. Dara embodies the sense of purpose and service that defines so many of our veterans. And I'm going to steal a little of your thunder, Bryce, but the Marines have a motto, and it's Semper Fi, always faithful, always loyal. And I think when we sit and listen to, you know, the story of a life that was well lived, those things stand out. Faithful, loyal. He exemplifies this commitment to service to others, and that service comes in a lot of forms, as we have discussed, whether that's in a fire company, a member of a union, community organization, an elected representative, one of our folks that actually builds our cannons there at the Arsenal, or importantly, and as we are here today, a member of our armed forces. A lifetime of remaining faithful and loyal to his family, community, country. I tell you, it's a true inspiration, Semper Fi indeed. So, hey, thank you for allowing me to be here this morning. Please accept this small and inadequate token of our appreciation for his lifelong service, both in and out of uniform. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to present Captain Potok from the Watervliet Arsenal also. He's going to say a few words and present a certificate.
Good morning. My name is Captain Potok. I'm the Executive Officer of Recruiting Station Albany at the Watervliet Arsenal. Extremely grateful to be here today to recognize a Marine. Even though I didn't personally know Dale, extremely grateful to have the opportunity to speak here and to recognize him. I have a certificate to present on behalf of the Marine Corps. Certificate of recognition from Marine Corps Recruiting Station Albany is presented in honor of Dale Francis Dara. The Sergeant Major and I wish to thank you for your valued service to Corps and country. Every day, Recruiting Station Albany seeks young men and women of your character to uphold the nation's highest values. Your sacrifices to this great nation paved the way for over 500 new Marines every year. This certificate of recognition is one small token of appreciation from a grateful nation, and I want to recognize your contributions to the Marine Corps and our command's mission accomplishment. During your time in service, you exemplified the core values of the Marine Corps in conduct, character, professionalism, dedication to duty, and sacrifice. Upon return to civilian life, you continued your commitment to the welfare of the Marine Corps and the Marines with whom you served through your involvement with the Sherwood Park Fire Company, Rangers Retreat, and CWA Union. Once again, thank you and Semper Fidelis. Signed, T.B. Simons, Major, USMC Commanding.
Thank you, Captain. Next, from the Honor Deceased Veteran Committee, we have Tim Forbes, P.J. Higgett, Gene Leparco, and Joe Simonek, who will present a plaque from the Honor Deceased Veteran Committee.
The citizens of Rensselaer County follow the veterans script symbol, please accept this act. As a symbol of your loved one's faithful service, thank you, Lord, for allowing this time.
Thank you. Please stand for the closing prayer.
Day is done, gone the sun, the lake, the hill, and the sky. All is well. God of compassion, dignity, and strength, watch over our veteran and his family. Bless him and grant him his family comfort and everlasting peace. Amen.
Thank you, Ed. Retire the colors. Order, arms. This concludes our Honor a Vet ceremony for this month. Thank you for coming to honor our deceased veteran, Dale F. Dara. If you'd like to join us outside, we're going to conclude the ceremony outside. Okay, we're going to take a group photo with the family, and then we'll all go outside. Thank you. Thanks, Gene.